What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. We're here a little bit after Christmas, December 27th it is. I had to double check there for a second. What's up, T? What's up, Case? What's going on?
What up, man?
What? How's your Christmas?
It was good. Family, kids got to rip open a lot. Grace got to have her kind of first real Christmas is like almost 2, so she was having overwhelmed, of course, with just ripping stuff open. But it was good. So yeah, it was fun.
Started ripping open your gifts.
Yes, I did. But that's all right. It entertained her. That's the key.
Yes.
It entertained her.
Yep.
And the boys, of course, loved it. The grandparents spoiled them, and so they all the good time stuff.
I feel like the meme for Christmas should be Kevin Garnett winning the championship. Anything's possible.
For sure. What was yours, T?
It was all right. It was real low key, but
Yeah.
it's Christmas. Got to spend time with my family. Tomorrow's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Connie.
Very nice. My mom's birthday is January 1st, so I guess both our mom's birthdays are coming up this week. So happy birthday to our mothers out there.
Happy birthday, Pam.
And happy birthday, Connie, as well. We're up to 43 subscribers, Tyler. Almost got to 50 by New Year's. Can you get that push to 7 more here?
You need to have a big showing. Big showing.
Yeah,
So make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Thumbs up.
For sure. I think Casey's got like 4 Twitter accounts now after we tried to figure it out this weekend. So we'll if you're still looking for him over there, look for him on the Twitter there. Look for us at Fatboy FadeAway Podcast.
Whoa.
And,
shout out to Ruby. Almost 11 in 5 minutes. So
all right,
don't
so let's get into
gloss over that. That was more than you thought I could get in a week.
I did. Well, she got more than that in a week. Let's see if you can now pull your weight in that part of it. So, all right, here we go with the NBA segment here. I was thinking we got a good one this week. We'll go NBA overreactions to week 1. So, like, basically, we'll just kind of like have a few themes out here. We'll kind of see kind of things that stuck out to me the first week. If you guys got anything, jump in there for sure. So the first theme question for the week is woeful Warriors. 0-2 to start their first 2 games. But more than that, they just look, dysfunctional. Steve Kerr's over there shaking his head basically every 5 minutes. He's calling timeouts, drawing up plays, and it's leading to just one-on-one nothings. And you can just see him getting frustrated. Curry's been horrible as well. He hasn't really done anything. He shot very poorly, looks really out of rhythm. And then the wings, Wiggins and Oubre, we could really get into them. They're struggling mightily. So, Tyler, last week we said that possibly 4th seed. We mentioned possibly playoffs. Let's overreact to these first 2 games a little bit. Are they this bad? I mean, what's up?
It was looking like a number 1 overall pick team. Oubre and Wiggins have been the worst players in the NBA. I gotta believe, like they have been.
At least for minutes played. Yeah, but what stuck out about them is so awful. I mean, I could go on a tangent here, but you guys.
They can't shoot. They can't play defense. They look like the number 1 overall pick.
It's pretty bad right now. Case.
I think Oubre actually tries on defense. He's pretty raw athletically, but I mean, when you look at the numbers, and I was just like kind of blown away, and I was looking at him, I was just like, that can't be right. Like, I mean, Wiggins averages 28 minutes a game, and he's averaging 12 and a half points per game. And then my 6th man of the year, Eric Paschall, is not looking anything close to 6th man of the year. He's averaging 23 and a half minutes and has 6.5 points per game. I was like, that can't be good. And then you go down the list, you're like, oh, Michael Mulder, 12 points or 12 minutes per game and has 5.5. And I'm like, he's like half the minutes with almost half the points of Wiggins. You're like, this is not good. Their shooting is absolutely atrocious. Like, I mean, Oubre, he had a sexy dunk put back, and I'm like hella hyped. You look at the team, it's like they cannot shoot the rock. Like, I mean, Draymond Green hasn't played, so they're missing him a lot. He's their best playmaker. Steph's missing him. It's their best defensive player, but It's gonna be a long year, boys. 4 seed, I don't know, maybe 4th pick now. I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. But I mean, granted, they did play the Bucks and the Nets on the road, so I'm gonna kind of give them a little break there. They do play the Bulls today. If they lose to that one, maybe we're looking really in trouble. If they lose this game, the Bulls have looked probably worse than the Warriors, believe it or not, and they've played the Hawks and the Pacers. So this is probably their chance to get the win, to get on the road, or to get on the right side of the record. Yeah, that Wiggins-Oubre thing is kind of that's going to be a frustrating, inconsistent wing position to watch. Like, I know they're really bad right now, but they're going to have a few games where they probably drop like 25, look pretty decent, and you're kind of going to be like, oh, they look all right for a little bit. And then, they kind of just feel like that mediocre 8 seed type wings. And until they get Draymond back, be really able to make plays and utilize Wiseman, the guards better, they just look out of sync. They don't look for Curry the same. They don't use him the same. So their offense is just way out of whack. It's not necessarily even Curry's fault. The players have to actually they have to use him like a wide receiver. They have to use him as the distraction, and they're not really letting that take place. So I don't know. We'll see how the Warriors kind of finish up the week here. They will have a better look at them next season. T, you have anything else you want to add about them?
Well, on a bright note, Steph Curry did hit 105 threes in a row in practice this week. So it took out his stupid cornrows. But
maybe he'll play better. You're saying with a new look.
Yeah, they were rolled a little too tight.
A little too tight for him this last week.
It looked like a fucking worm with braids.
It makes you truly appreciate how good Klay Thompson is.
Yeah, and how much he just helped their team completely. No doubt about it. He was definitely the key there. Let's move to Wiseman though a little bit. Let's get into him. He's the one positive from their 2 games. Is obviously I listened to a few like Memphis podcasts. They've been kind of hyping him up a little bit leading into the draft. I kind of was feeling a little bit better, even though I was a little pessimistic at the beginning with him. But and Tyler, I know you felt pretty good about him from the beginning as well. I mean, he looks like if maybe he played more than 3 games in college, he probably would have been the number 1 pick. I mean, he just looks like far and away. I mean, Edwards played pretty well last night and stuff, but just his sheer size and just skill and athleticism, you just feel like he's definitely the one bright spot. So, T, what stood out to you other than almost 40 points in 2 games?
He just looks like that dominant center from the 90s. Like he can shoot like Robinson and Ewing could hit he has even more range though. He looks like he's going to be like an 80% free throw shooter. He's super athletic and he's huge for 19 years old. This guy, I thought he was going to come in a little skinnier and lankier. This guy's already built like a NBA vet. And he's going to get bigger.
Wait till he starts hitting the weight room. Yeah, once he gets to the weight room a little bit too.
So I'm very excited to watch his maturation over the years.
His outside games kind of surprised me.
I didn't know
natural. I mean, going in the shot. It's one thing for the shot to look good. It's another thing for it to kind of go in pretty consistently. So, I mean, he's kind of surprised me with that. Case, we talked a little bit yesterday. You thought he played a little bit better in the second game than the first game. You were saying in the first game you thought he kind of struggled a little bit, even though we kind of disagreed about that. You were saying you wanted to see him be a little bit more aggressive. What do you mean by that?
I just think he needs to be more assertive and play with just that fire. And I mean, he's got Tyler's right. I mean, he's got all the tools to be probably, I don't know, like a Zion Williamson. I mean, he's not as strong built like him, but But
you said he didn't play very well that first game, so I want to know what you're looking for from his aggressive standpoint that you didn't see in that first game that you want to see him apply more.
Shoot more, attack the boards out of your zone, kind of like Draymond Green, like how he rebounds out of his just primary position. I thought the second game is what I was like, okay, this is what it's about, blocking shots from other position, other side of the floor, where he's just not guarding his zone. He's coming off his defender, swatting the other guy that's coming, and his help defense, I think, I mean, he's they said 9'8" standing. So I mean, just his athleticism, he's a freak right now. And I mean, the first game though, I was just
4 inches from touching the rim.
Get on your tippy toes and you can like.
the first game. I just thought he was timid. I mean, I don't know. Just from watching as someone that used to play, it's like you get jitters. His first game of the NBA, but the second
I'd
game,
agree with that until the fourth quarter. Like he played like he was ready to go in the fourth quarter of that first game. The first 3 quarters, he wasn't shooting the ball, wasn't really getting the rock, and it wasn't looking that great.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I thought. That was my takeaway. He just seemed a little gun shy, just like it's not my team yet. And I'm like, dude, like you got to step up, man, because our team sucks right now.
Yeah, he's gonna have to mature a little bit more this year in terms of like the process for us to be a lot more competitive. Not like he's just gonna have to like skip a year here. He's gonna have to, like you said, be probably a little bit more aggressive shooting the ball. He's gonna have to be one of their top 3 offensive weapons. That's for sure. Probably on the offensive end of the offensive end of the ball, and then on the defensive end, that's going to speak for itself.
A little nugget here, Darren, just to say it's so funny when you're watching the game, and I don't know, he's kind of losing a step, and I feel bad for him. The announcer, Marv Albert, and he's like, Joe Smith, 1971 was the youngest player since Wiseman to start a game, and I was like, 1971? I was like, I'm not that old, right? And then Joe Smith tweeted during the game, and Weber was in the game. He's like, "It's 1991." He's like,
Marv he's been out of work for a while. He's a little rusty. You gotta give him a break a little bit. He said, "Oh, he's a little rusty."
Well, the toupee's only 20.
The toupe's a little tight on him.
He's like, Wiggins with the nice play, and I'm like, that's not Wiggins, that's Marquise Chris. And I was like, oh man, he's really losing it right now.
Well, I think also some of these guys they're doing the game on TV as well. They can't see the guys as well, and they're not used to watching it. Like I really think there's some of these guys are struggling with it, like especially the older guys, like you said. They just don't. They're missing out on some of the things they're used to from watching it in the game.
I just love that though when they said Joe Smith 1971 that he tweeted live like
1991.
He's like, come on, C Web. He's like, I'm not 71. I'm 91. I'm a Terp. He's like, you were in the league like the same year I was. He's like.
And they call him out on it. The other thing, last part with Wiseman there, it's gonna be interesting to see if he develops a post game for me to see if like he can. It just seems like that's the one part that's not quite natural to him, or he doesn't get the opportunities there. So it'll be interesting to see if like in that part of his game where that develops. All right, let's get to the next theme here. I got Harden hoops. The man comes in out of shape, quarantined, just puts up 44-17 in his sleep. The guy just can score basketball. He's like one of those guys at the park or the gym. He just gets buckets. That's what he does for a living. And he might travel on some of them. Those step backs I don't know how he gets all that space. Even when you see the highlights, you're like, how do you double step like that? And he just makes it look so good. If anybody didn't see that game last night, I recommend you go back and watch it. It was entertaining. CJ McCollum also had 44. Portland won. Man, if you're Houston, I was just thinking we'll do this one real quick, T. What do you can't make him stay? Like he's still got 2 years. I mean, I don't know. Like he kind of made the mess a little bit too. Like I don't know. Just he's one of the best players. I just wouldn't trade him. I mean, is he really going to be that unhappy enough to where you can't just say, all right, you're still going to get me 44 points?
Yeah, I mean, he's under contract. You don't have to trade him, but it's just NBA players have so much leverage in this whole thing, like because they don't want to lose him for nothing. And
I guess my argument to that would be like if you have him for another 2 years, though, it's still a decent amount of time you have him. And if you lost him, at least you had him for 2 more years. And like, I guess I'm just questioning what you're going to get back in return, anyways. And I really
going to win with this roster.
I don't know, but I mean, like, I don't know if they're going to win 8 years from now with these picks they get in the before either. So it's like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like he's good enough, and he's got Wall there with him too. And you got this guy Wood who really impressed me last night with 31 points. Yeah. Detroit. I don't know what you're doing, not trying to sign that guy to a more lucrative offer. He looked really good. So I don't know. I just kind of, that part of me with Harden just kind of wishes a team would kind of just say, stick it out a little bit, especially when your team's, still probably a playoff bound team with them. It seems like to me. So I don't know. I understand the flaws with it, but I kind of just part of me doesn't want him just to get his way and go right to the Nets either, or something like that.
I mean, they were going against the Blazers, and people think they're a top 4 team, and they didn't even have Wall, Cousins, or Gordon last night. They only had 9 players, and if they pushed them to overtime, and they only lost by 2.
I'm always curious to see if that actually like will counter affect it when they come back. You know what I mean? Like, is there enough shots to go around, and like maybe that plays to the ego a little bit more. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting yesterday. Harden just still dropping buckets, looking like Kendrick Perkins, doing everything he can, just anytime he wants to, just putting up baskets. All right, next theme.
That's just rude to James Harden. Kendrick.
Next theme here, 2 and who instead of 2-0. So here it's surprise 2-0 teams. Who we got here? Yes, that was a little cheesy. Cleveland, Minnesota, Sacramento, San Antonio. Which out of those 4 teams, or I guess you got 2 that you actually think will make the playoffs? Any of you guys to start on that one?
I don't think any of them are making the playoffs.
None of them. Which one do you think could make the playoffs? I guess.
I really enjoyed watching Colin Sexton this year, and like Garland. It's a weird like backcourt that won't work in like for long-term success, but it's kind of like the Curry Ellis backcourt we had with the Warriors, where 2 little guys who are score first, but do have passing abilities, like, but it's just not their natural instincts. And I didn't know Colin Sexton could shoot the way he does. I'm very impressed with the way he's played these first 2 games.
Well, I know Nick Flanagan would be very happy with you, as he's depending on Colin Sexton with a lot of his cards he bought last year. So I know he has a big smile on his face after you just gloated about him. He's probably, obviously your word means a lot too, so it's probably just gone up $100 based on that. Right?
I think so.
Compliment. That's why I kind of like the Kuro pick for them too, because he kind of does the complete opposite of their 2 guards in terms of just like, D's up and like guard. That's why I kind of really like that pick when they took a Kuro. Case, you like a team out of those 4 to make the playoffs, or maybe sneak in? Obviously, Tyler has no faith in San Antonio, Sacramento, Minnesota, or Cleveland. Didn't even want to pick one to possibly make it. Maybe Cleveland, he says. All right.
I think Lunsell might be on to a little something with the Kings. They're pretty good. I mean, I know they beat Denver kind of on a flukish type last, I don't know, like 20 seconds, 15 seconds, but I don't know. They do have actually a pretty young core 3. I don't know how good that core 3 will be, but Hield, Bagley, and Holmes actually look pretty good.
Well, instead of Holmes,
I didn't even mention Fox.
I put Fox
in their best player.
And I'd even put Halliburton in there ahead of Holmes.
Rashawn Holmes is pretty damn good, though. He kind of does the dirty work like Draymond.
Oh, we forgot to tell you our podcast was sponsored by Mr. Holmes. That's a lot of shout out for him. I mean, my goodness, I like that. I like it right now. What'd you see? What'd you see from him that you like?
He just has that like same energy. He plays like he's not as good playmaking wise, but he just like he just brings it every single time down the floor. It's like I don't know. He plays defense, he offensive rebounds, he starts the breaks, he gets those little dirty baskets. He can't shoot as well, but he's still. I don't know. He reminds me of like a young Draymond.
He's pretty good for a white guy too.
He's not white.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure we were talking about. Just kidding.
I know who Rashawn Holmes.
Listen to his name. He's not a white guy.
I got to see him against the Hornets last year, actually in Sacramento.
Okay, when they played the Hornets. Oh yeah, that's right. You guys went to that game, huh? I kind of like the Spurs to make that team. I mean, any team with Popovich, and I really liked Murray, their point guard. He got hurt last year, and I always thought he was a solid player. And they still have Aldridge and DeRozan, who are solid NBA players regardless. I mean, we've both done redrafts with them, but we both took them at like the top 5. They're still like legit NBA players. And then I kind of like that Walker guy they have too. They drafted I think maybe last year from Miami. So they always seem to develop their guys better than most teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of surprise a few teams here. All right, last call here in the NBA. I'll let you guys, if you guys got any other topics that I forgot about, throw it out there. The Bucks offense still looks a little frustrating to watch. I still don't, especially in that game versus Celtics. You got to get the ball to them in lower situations. It's just the man still just gets way too many charges at the end of the game from starting the offense from 24 feet out. It makes no sense to me why they don't get the ball lower. I'd like the Holiday pick up a little bit. He looks good, but it's gonna be hard for them to beat the Nets. Denver, their bench, they're gonna have to figure out that situation. They lost Grant and a few other guys. Barton's a little unhappy, so they kind of look a little shaky to start. Casey's boy, Obi Toppin's hurt for 7 to 10 days, struggled in his rookie debut, but he showed some potential in the preseason. So we'll give him a little time here. But of course, he gets hurt in the first week. That's always what happens, it seems like. And then for me, the biggest takeaway is, is anybody going to stop the Nets and Lakers? I mean, it just seems like it's almost a foregone conclusion. These teams are going to be in the finals based on the first 2 games, anyways. But that's just kind of my kind of thoughts from everything else in the NBA. What do you guys got?
Yeah, the Nets look unbeatable if Kyrie Irving plays the way he's playing, and Barton can go kick rocks.
Yeah, but okay, hold on with the Nets though, real quick. What do you mean though? I mean, get into it a little bit more. Like, what do you think about their offense? I mean, they got Nash now. They have a ton of scoring, right? I mean, you were the Suns guy. I mean, what about them is gonna what about them is unstoppable? I guess
you have a guy who like Kyrie Irving who is basically like unguardable in certain aspects, especially when you have Kevin Durant on the wing, which is going to get most of the attention. It's kind of like when you have Curry and Durant, like it's just
I also think, and I feel like the other thing with them too is they also have other guys too. That's the problem. Like, you have
for
Harris,
sure.
You have LeVert, you have Dinwiddie, you have like Allen, you have Jordan. So you have a really good roster of guys that can shoot it, especially that first game against the Warriors. They just lit it up from 3-point range. And I like that they're playing faster. I mean, get that pace up with that team. Shoot threes. Get Durant and Irving close to 25 shots each a game easily. And so hopefully with Nash and the whole 2000 Phoenix Suns coaching staff as his roster, they'll be able to to keep that going there. So I don't know. Case, any last thoughts on the NBA here?
Lakers championship. Everyone else is just playing for marbles. It's just like, I don't see it. I mean, Brooklyn, they're 11 deep. I get it. I mean, they got 3 shot blockers, DeAndre Jordan, Jared Allen, Kevin Durant. Then they can rotate Karis LeVert. Change my pick absolutely right here on this podcast. Karis LeVert is 6th man, not Eric Pascal. My apologies, Karis LeVert. I forgot how actually damn good you are. But
are you changing your finals pick from the Celtics after 2 games?
No, not at all.
Sticking with the Celtics. All right, I like it. Sticking with the Celtics. Tatum did bank in a lucky 3. Yes, that's all right. In my 20-team fantasy league.
I do think people forgot how good Kevin Durant is. He's so good, man. He just makes it look so easy. Like, so easy. I was like, Stephen Curry, like, literally, like, playing against the Nets, he was just like, damn, this is what we used to do to folks. This is how easy we used to roll over them.
Just one dribble right, pull up over you, bucket every time. Yeah, he's just automatic. And and he's motivated this year. He's going to be highly, there's probably not going to be as much drama with him this year. There's not media there.
Their bench is better than the Warriors starting 5.
That first game, you probably could say it did look better that first game. So
Karis LeVert, Torian Prince, Jeff Green. It's just
Jeff Green. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here with Jeff Green.
We still have.
I would take Jeff Green over Kelly Oubre or Andrew Wiggins right now.
Oh man, I think we're gonna let's go. That's already I'm writing that down over overreaction week 2. We're gonna take Jeff Green over Wiggins. Maybe the contract.
He's already shot like 5 air balls this year.
I'll give you that.
Hold on, did we see LeBron's air ball?
That was a good one.
Free throw.
That was a good free throw air ball.
What, Casey?
That was a free throw. He's the greatest.
That makes it even more embarrassing.
He said the wine didn't go to the right leg. He was trying to figure it out.
That's embarrassing. I've never airballed a free throw.
Ever?
Since I was 12. Well, since I was 12 years old.
That's impressive. Have you done it though on national TV?
No, but I don't care. He's a professional athlete. I've done it
No, I'm
at
with
my
you.
level of his
There's
level is
some
NBA. So
that's one of the worst one out there. There's a couple other like really bad ones out there too. Like if you go online, like there's some other like just horrendous like ones where they don't even come close. That one didn't even hit the net, did it?
no,
I think
it
you
was
missed
air
that one
ball,
bad.
natural
Yeah,
air ball.
you got to go back and look at that one if you guys haven't seen that one out there. All right, anything else you guys got to add to the NBA? No, T?
No, I think
No?
we're good.
All right, Warriors, hopefully they'll pick it up today. Got a game versus the Bulls. Also, the other little thing kind of surprised me just real quick with NBA was Trae Young. If you're a Warriors fan out there and you kind of wanted to see old school Steph Curry and somebody just shooting a ton of threes, kind of look like him, he's the guy to go watch. He's going to get lots of shots, and he shoots them from way downtown as they beat the Grizzlies yesterday in a pretty fun game with John Morant there. So, all right, well, that's our NBA segment for the week, and we'll be back with the
Real quick, I can't
What's
believe
up?
Trae Young already has 43 30-point games before 23.
Who?
Trae
Young?
Young.
Yeah. Well, he
Just
gets a ton of
third
looks from that team. That's the one thing. Like he has that green light like Curry did. He just gets them up all the time there. So
He doesn't even turn 23 till September. That's nuts.
yeah, he's a beast. There's some really good point guards in the league. Him and John Morant had a good battle yesterday. All right, we'll be back with the NFL segment here. All right, and we're back with the NFL segment here on the Fatboy FadeAway podcast. Tyler Casey back with us. Let's get into the Niners-Raiders games from yesterday. I guess the first game, Tampa Bay beat the three-legged Lions pretty easily, 47-7 there, as they were missing like their whole staff. That was not a very fun game to watch. So they should that's one where you just need a mercy rule at halftime for those type of games. But let's get into the Niners game here to you real quick. I wanted to discuss with you because me and Case got a little bit to talk about with the Raiders game, but Shanahan, we've said it before, like just his ability to coach is just, I feel like on full display at times. I know he's had his choke moments, like with, obviously the Super Bowl and the Niners last year,
the Super Bowl.
But I don't know, like overall, he gets players paid. You know what I mean? He's really good at developing quarterbacks, especially. And to me, the number one thing that I would look for with him, to me, this is what makes him a good coach, at least this season, anyways, is that he's getting his team to, for the most part, play hard. So I mean, even they lost to Dallas, I mean, they at least looked somewhat respectful. They weren't like they haven't shown any signs of giving up. And I mean, he has CJ Beathard, and he makes it work. I mean, he runs the ball. He's able to get schemes like I don't, he targets certain players on the defensive line. And man, he just feeds a hot hand. Nobody feeds a running back quite like he does. Maybe the Titans with Henry, of course, but I mean, he's just so impressive.
It's easy to do it with Henry, though. You have the best running back in the NFL. Like,
and the thing that was even more impressive, and I'll stop after this, is he did it with a mole on his own team. I mean, Robbie Gould was working for the Cardinals yesterday, and he still could. He still could.
That was amazing. They were really trying to choke for a draft pick.
Before I go, you just go on it, the Niners. It's like,
they're so frustrating. When you want them to lose, they win, and when you want them to win, they lose. So, Kyle Shanahan's great. He designs the best plays in the NFL, in my opinion. He gets guys open, makes it easy on a quarterback, as easy as you can make it on a quarterback. And he just has like a feel for play calling that is very rare, I feel like,
So I'm curious if
watching a lot of these offenses.
What gets you frustrated about him, though? Is there anything like you want, like as a Niners fan, you're watching every play more often than I am. Like, what's your critique of him? Because I do only hear positives about him, other than blowing games. I guess at the end of
I don't really have a critique. I like Shanahan a lot. I've never dislike, even when they were sucking. I was like before Garoppolo even got there, like they were terrible, but they were always like, at least their offense was always never like dead last. Or I don't know what he does on the defensive side, if he even touches that side of the ball. Like as a head coach, he should be sort of invested in that. And I don't know if he is, but I don't really know that much about like what a head coach really does.
And that's the other thing about the Niners too. Don't you think this is the other thing about the Niners too? In case we were talking to this a little bit yesterday, is their defense is just on another level, like in terms of like their ability to compete as well. Like, what's the coordinator?
Their defense sucks.
What do you mean?
Okay, but hold on. It
What do
doesn't
you mean?
suck.
It's pretty bad.
You watch the Raiders and you watch the Niners, and you watch like probably I'd say more than a third. I'd say half the teams in the NFL. And you watch the Niners play defense, so much better than everyone else.
I mean, they
No, it
have
doesn't.
to at least.
Schematically, they're just way better. Like however they teach them,
They have no
linebackers.
talent except Warner.
I guess
and
and that's my
Verrett's
point.
doing-
They
playing
gave
well.
us 12 points to Kyler Murray.
He played terrible.
Well, don't you think
Did he
that
play good?
contributes to part of the Niners defense?
They had a good game. I'm not saying they played terrible last game. This game, they played fine this game, but they've been they gave up 34 points to Andy Dalton.
41.
What?
They lost 41.
Yeah,
I think
but
they gave up 41.
41.
Yeah, but that's also
No, that's not
contributes-
but. That's how it's
That's
been all
also
year.
on 4 turnovers from your offense.
True. I guess. But it's
What
still
do you mean,
41
yes? You
points.
can't
A
just
good
give the
defense
ball.
limits it to field goals. A good defense.
Yeah, but if
I'm-
you give the ball over 4 times and like 3 of them are in your territory and you don't get more than 2 minutes off the field, what do you expect?
3 points
I think
from a good defense.
Tyler's
It's just
their scores, Shay.
A
Like,
good
since they played
defense.
since they've played Seattle, they've given up 37, 34, 27, 20, 34, 23 to Washington, 41, and then gave up 20 yesterday. So you're right. The
And
points have
23
been
to
high.
Washington. 23 to Washington's like 50.
And this wasn't supposed to be a defensive like praise of the Niners. My point was the defense with the Niners is more to kind of, even in those losses and even before, even like you said, with injuries and so on, because they haven't been healthy. My main theme with the Niners is they compete. So like yesterday, the Cardinals have a pretty decent defense and they're tackling better. They're still like running schemes to where you're like makes sense, and they're putting like less talent in positions to succeed. And so, like, yeah, they're not having still got lit up by Dallas, but I think that's the thing that always surprises me with the Niners, just like they still can have performance like this where they still like play pretty well from a coaching standpoint, anyways. And so, Saleh probably won't be back. He'll probably be the Lions coach next year. It sounds like, by all means. Let's
Shanahan is like his dad, though. Just give him any running back. Orlando's Gary. Let him run.
Jay Wilson, anything.
Mike Anderson.
Yeah, just makes it happen. Anything. You're right. He does. Hall of Fame running back. You want to play, if you're a running back, you want to play for the Shanahans, no doubt about it. Especially if you're a zone read running back. That would be the one thing. All right. Let's get into the Raiders, and then we'll kind of go back to the Cardinals slightly there with their coaching aspect of that game as well. The Raiders lose yesterday. I mean, they do it in just unbelievable fashion. I mean, it's not really unnormal for them to lose. I was actually thinking they'll probably figure out a way to lose this game. But let's set the stage a little bit. They're down. They're down on this final drive, 23-22. Basically 2 minutes left. Under basically they're in a first and goal situation. They basically run the first 2 plays to not purposely score touchdowns, but get close enough to the goal line. And then on the third down play, they take a knee, which brings the clock down to 20 seconds. They basically kick the field goal, and there's 19 seconds after the kickoff. Dolphins have the ball. Of course, they go down and score a field goal to win the game. So the complaint I have from Mr. Gruden's standpoint is I'm okay with you wasting the clock a little bit. I guess the problem I had was I don't understand when it got to second and down and you're under a minute. If you score a touchdown, you're at least up 5 with under a minute. And I feel like I'd rather have them go and try to score a touchdown with under a minute than under 20 seconds try to kick a field goal and beat me. That's just kind of like overall. I understood it took a miraculous play for them to happen, but it's like, your defense isn't good. They could go 50 yards in 2 passes, on an interference or something crazy. To me, the touchdown's more unrealistic. To me, it's more unlikely. And at least if you get the 2-point conversion, they have to score a touchdown and an extra point. So I just thought it was a very questionable coaching decision all the way around. I'm not bailing out their defense, but I don't know. That was just to me, just puts a cap on the Raiders season and on our Gruden conversation from last week. Anybody come in on that one? Tyler, let's give you the first one.
I have no problem with what he does, but I'm not a Raiders fan, but I'll take being up 2 with 19 seconds over 7 with a minute. Absolutely. every time,
Really?
in my opinion. Yeah. With 19 seconds,
Even with the Raiders
And
you
defense
have to what?
and the
no
Raiders defense.
timeouts.
Yeah, even with the Raiders. All you have to do is limit a 40-yard play and a 15-yard face mask.
Let me ask you
It's
this.
not.
So on
It's a miraculous way to lose.
so
You
let me
got
ask
the
you this.
clock stop because of a penalty, and
So let's go back to the
What?
second down play. The second down play, we'll say they run it down. Jacobs goes down perfectly at the 1 yard line, right? So the on the next play, it's 3rd and goal from the 1 yard line, correct? Okay. At that point, when you say hike, you're gonna have 25 seconds left, right? And they took a knee, all right, to go
No,
backwards.
that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, they
Because
took. Okay,
if you scored, there would have been about a minute left.
no, I understand that, but when they called about 50 seconds left in the game when if they score a touchdown there, right? Jacobs scores.
It would
To
have
me,
been a minute.
yeah, you're up 5. You're up 5 with a minute. You'd rather have them try to score a touchdown with no timeouts. You rather you try to lose on a field goal of 20 seconds. That makes no sense to me. That makes literally no. The Raiders' defense is horrible. I mean, they can easily give up 50
19
yards.
seconds. No, you don't easily give up 50 yards. How many 50-yard play do you think
To me, you lose
the
the game.
Dolphins had?
To me, you lose the game. They have to score a touchdown. They have to go 80 yards in 45 to 50
75.
seconds. Yeah, that's pretty hard
That's
to do,
easier
right?
than going 50 in one play.
Really? I would disagree completely. I think that's what most people were thinking online too, is that was such a bad decision for him. He played that out so poorly.
I disagree. I think
So, Casey, you think he should have kicked the field goal too?
Not after watching the Coastal Carolina game. I had PTSD.
No, because last night you were texting me saying he should have gone for the touchdown, I thought.
That's what I'm saying. After watching the Coastal Carolina game, I was like, just score the touchdown. Like,
to me, it's not even debatable. I'm just shocked.
No, I mean, I think the first 2 downs, no. The third down, yes, absolutely, because the defense wants you to score. And then you go for 2, like you said, then you're up by 8 or you're up by 6. Then either way,
You're up by 7.
Why do you think the defense wants you to score? Because it's easier for the offense to have a minute.
I get that, but you're going 75 yards for 7 opposed to 50 for 3.
I didn't get it on the third down call. The third down call, I would try to score.
With 40 less seconds.
I would try to score.
It's very hard to
I'm not saying, like, either way, like, yeah, in hindsight, 2020, you're like, oh, it's a terrible call. But
I thought it was a terrible call watching it.
Well, John Gruden said, at best, 19 seconds on their own 25 will take my chances. Well, then, have you watched your defense for the last, 20 years?
I mean, my gosh, what are you doing? You commit the most penalties, and sure enough, they commit a face mask on top of it. That's my point. It's like you're not. I don't understand.
I can't put that on the head coach for being an idiot, having a defensive player be an idiot.
I kind of feel like you got to know your team a little bit better. And I just don't think that, I'm literally watching it saying, I don't think this is a good decision because of what probably just played out. And it did play out. I mean,
the Raiders probably would have given up a touchdown then.
And you still probably had a chance to go to overtime. That's my point. You lost. You didn't give yourself a chance to at least tie. You
they're going to get a 2-point conversion.
And people forget what it came down to is damn Daniel Carlson misses the freaking extra point to put him up. And it comes down to they lose by a damn field goal by 1 point. It's like, God.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you guys on the percentages. I mean, both are low, but my thought is you're right, Tyler.
They had a 99.9% chance to win when that play happened.
Yeah, both, and if they probably score a touchdown with 50 seconds left, they probably don't. They probably have a 99% chance too. I mean, it's probably the same thing. But my point is, if you do get the 2-point conversion, you're right, Tyler. That might not.
Yeah, but you don't know you get the 2-point conversion.
No, but you're at least giving yourself to at least a chance to them have to tie it up, opposed to knowing with a field goal you're still going to lose with a field goal. That's my point.
But the field goal is my point.
Don't go with a field goal.
That's embarrassing.
Good defensive strategy. Yes, it is embarrassing.
It's pathetic that they gave up the 50.
It is.
Darren's kind of swung my vote on that one, actually.
And it's pathetic as a Raiders fan. We know they're going to lose. That's going to happen. I'm watching the game with Hada saying, I guarantee they're going to miss. I guarantee by kicking this field goal, they're giving themselves a chance to lose. And sure enough, they gave themselves a chance to lose. That's my thought. with it.
Scoring, they give themselves a chance to lose. It's not like it's over because they.
Yeah, but
score.
scoring. Yeah, but they
It's not
didn't
like it put
score.
them up 10.
Yeah, but they didn't score on the. My point is they didn't score. I feel like they should have. They didn't give themselves the more points. I mean, if they have to score 7 points opposed to tie you, opposed to lose, I'm going to take the tie over the loss.
How many 50-yard plays do you think the Dolphins have all year?
Probably like 10.
I would bet it's less.
I don't know. We'll have to.
I don't know.
You got to know.
I'll comment in the Twitter section how many they have.
I'll give you 5. There's no way you comment
after.
No
Did
way
you hear
comment.
Ryan Fitzpatrick's post-game interview?
What'd he say?
He's like, he's like, I took a piss, and then they're like, hey, you're coming in to play quarterback, and he's like, I took the average 7 throws and just came in, and I was like, that's how shitty the Raiders defense is. You guys does 7 warm-up throws, and he's like, oh, we're playing the shitty-ass Raiders. Let me just come and launch this, get that Fitz magic going. I'm feeling loose as a goose, just hydrated and pissed out all whatever I needed to get out, and all of a sudden it's like bam, 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 just sack you over into the goal line, and then Gaskins for like 60 yards down the sideline. I'm like, God,
good tackling
I can't remember his name right now, but number 54 needs to go. God, he cannot tackle twice on Gaskins.
Was it the guy you guys said was a Pro Bowler last week? Because it based
No,
on
that was not
based on the stats.
No, he wasn't in the game.
Yeah, so just a real frustrating loss. We could disagree if we want on the field goal thing or whatever.
We
but
will
yeah,
disagree.
That's bad defense regardless. I just think I think most people are on my side on that one. You don't give yourself a chance to lose like that. It's not very.
You give
very
yourself
smart.
a chance to lose in any aspect. It's not saying
You
there's one way you have a
play
chance
to
to
win
lose.
the game.
How do you lose if you're up by 7?
You're not up by 7.
If you get a touchdown and
you're saying all these ifs.
No,
okay,
you're
the
up by
Dolphins throw a
6.
touchdown.
No, they were
you're
up by
6 or
Yes.
They would have got up by 7.
Probably.
yeah.
Maybe, but I just think it's just not smart football.
5 or 7.
Not smart football. Not smart football. And you can miss the field goal, which you almost did too. All right, so let's get to
the field goal.
Well, you could have missed the field goal. On that to go up by 2. You gave yourself a chance to miss the field goal as well.
Yeah, you do.
The Raiders. Exactly. So just run it in. Go up by 5. Kick the 2
I think
points,
most coaches would do what Gruden did.
I think so, but I think they have a better defense than the one he's working with. All right. So 5 picks. You guys ready to get into it? I think we've kind of run the Raiders well dry a little bit there. T, you got 5 picks for the week?
Yeah.
I want me to go first.
You can go first.
All right, I got the Chiefs -11 versus Atlanta. I got Houston to beat Cincinnati. I feel like Cincinnati will have a kind of a comeback to earth game after their hype over Pittsburgh. So I feel like Houston, they're favored by 7. I think they'll cover that. I got the Rams +1 versus Seattle. I got the Indy, Pittsburgh. Didn't feel very great about this one, so maybe stay away from this one. But I got 43 under, and then I got Ravens 10.5 points favorites against the Giants. I just feel like the Ravens have a little bit more they're playing for. I know the Giants are still in the division, but I feel like the Ravens, I don't know, it just seems like they're maybe starting to get on a roll right at the wrong time of the season. So I got them to beat the Giants. So those are my 5 picks. I'll have the standings for next week updated as well, since it will be week 17. And so I'll have the final standings out by next week as well. So T, what's your picks for the week?
Well, strategically doing this, I had this planned the whole time. I went 0-5 last week, and to catch you, I'm taking the exact opposite 5 picks you took.
I'm gonna remix it up. No, just kidding. All right, sounds good. Do you know the teams you picked?
No, I have no idea. I was taking whatever 5 you did take, or what the 5 opposite of you.
Sounds good. See, Casey, who do you got?
I'm taking the Rams. I think the Hawks are favored by 2. I'm going to take Bills Mafia in a rout over the Patriots. They're done. Shut the season down. Cam Newton, it's crazy, man. 5 touchdowns, 10 interceptions this year.
I know It's like a college.
He has more yards rushing on average than average yards passing, which is crazy. I don't even know how that happens. Then I'm going to take Frankie will appreciate this. I'll take the Cowboys, and I think they're going to beat the Eagles and the points. I'm going to do this one was tough. I'm going to take a tough game here today. I'm going to take the Titans. Derrick Henry's had 9 straight games over 100 against road teams, rushing over 100 yards. So I'm going to take the Titans. And then
it's kind of a sneaky good game, too, against the Packers.
Yeah. Should be
a shootout.
100 yards. So
I can't imagine those two teams meet very often.
Every 4 years, probably. Probably every 8. I think that's what it is, right?
It's
every
longer
4 years.
than that.
I thought, is it every 8 years then?
Yeah.
It's every 4 or every 8. You play I think it's got to be every 4. You probably play the other division, I think. So something like that.
And then one I've got it. This is like a lock 'em. Like, take them. Anyone wants money. Bears over the Jaguars, because the Jaguars ain't playing for shit.
I don't think I could ever lock in Mitchell Trubisky as a win yet. I just can't put Mitchell in the lot.
The Jaguars are trying everything they can do to lose right now.
That kind of gets us to my last topic here is the Jets. They blow it last week. Tyler goes against them. They pull out the win against the Rams. The fan base is frustrated. They don't get their chances at Lawrence are down now. I think the Jaguars now they're in the driver's seat, right, to get the top pick. So I don't know. I think that. What do you think? You actually think this Lawrence guy is that big, that good?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it works out. You don't get the first pick, so who knows? Like, it's a draft.
I just think it's funny how the fan bases get so hyped up now over like just the potential of guys and stuff like that. Because that's all you have really to look forward to when you're as bad as those teams are. So.
Well, and it's funny how
people... Jamarcus Russell, thank you. We love it. He's so good.
It's funny how
first pick overall.
It's funny how people are like, "Oh, teams aren't taking." Like, they're not tanking at all, and then the mayor sends out, like, after the Jets win, is like, "Oh, Jacksonville just got an early Christmas present from the Jets," and it's like,
I don't think the mayor has anything to do with the football team.
Yeah, but he's not dumb. Like, everyone knows.
Yes, he is. He doesn't know anything about football, like if they're trying or not.
Yeah, but you don't have to be an idiot to know, like, hey, like.
If they were tanking, they would have lost. You don't win accidentally.
They won their first game. Do you know who they won against their first game of the year?
Who?
The Colts. They beat the Colts.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
They won the first game. There was some team that did that too. I remember like a long while ago. Won their first game. They lost like 16.
The Carolina Panthers did it with George Seifert.
With Winky Dinky Doo as the quarterback. Wasn't he the quarterback of that team? I think Chris Winky was the quarterback of that team, believe it or not. That sounds like a team that would win one game and then lose 15 in a row. All right, guys. I think that's our NFL segment for the week and the podcast for the week. It was fun.
Like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe. Gets up to 50. So yeah. We'll enjoy the games, guys, and we'll see you next week. Peace.